4 weeks ago, Cincinnati and Nashville met for the first time. A match that saw scoring opportunities for each side come up empty at Nissan Stadium. Tonight, the series moves to the Queen City as a red-hot FC Cincinnati team welcomes Nashville. Cincinnati unbeaten in their past 10 matches and atop the East for another week. Good evening and welcome to Nippert Stadium on the campus of the University of Cincinnati, where we are finally just about set for FC Cincinnati and Nashville SC. Tom Glitter, thrilled to be alongside broadcast partner Kevin McCloskey as we get you set for this match. Starting a little bit late than planned, but the orange and blue in June and July, Kevin, scored 21 goals. Then the big news Monday, they've added a striker who could score a lot of goals and comes from Major League Soccer, and Fernando Adi. And Alan Koch certainly picked himself up a class piece.
Oh, class piece. You know, a player that scored 54 goals at the highest level here in America for Portland, and a player that obviously brings a lot more international experience as well, Tommy. So to pick up this player at this time of the season in USL is fantastic. Obviously, bigger picture, he's going to be an important part of that squad.
Adi is involved and available as a sub tonight, not in the starting 11. As we look at your key matchup, you see Kenny Walker being very important, starting the build-up for FC Cincinnati and testing Matt Pickens, who's back in goal after missing 2 straight.
You've got to expect the press tonight from Nashville. I think the biggest thing with the press, you've got to have an outlet player. Kenny Walker has to be that outlet player for FC Cincinnati tonight. Matt Pickens, in my opinion, was the difference in that game. It was 0-0 down at Nashville. A player that's very energetic, comes off his line, makes himself huge as a goalkeeper and a big presence. And again, he's going to be the #1 presence in defense for Nashville tonight.
Going to be a familiar-looking starting 11 tonight for FC Cincinnati. We'll show it to you and check in from the pitch when we return. It's the second meeting of the season and the debut maybe of Fernando Adi. Coming your way next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Tom Glitter and Kevin McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati and Nashville SC have taken the pitch for the second of 3 meetings this season between the two clubs. It's time to take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. For Alan Koch, the exact same 11 that started 4 weeks ago in Nashville, the same formation, the 4-4-2 diamond. The Desmond Koenig will try to create up top for the orange and blue. At the other end, we see some changes for Gary Smith in Nashville. This team is reeling has not played well as of late, and will switch to a 3-5-2 tonight is what we expect to see. And up top, Tucker, Hume, and Alan Wynn, former UNC teammates. They played for the Tar Heels together. They'll try to create up top together for Nashville. The third member of our broadcast team is Lindsay Patterson. Let's check in downstairs. Lindsay.
Yeah, guys, a big week for FC Cincinnati with those two Major League Soccer signings on Monday, including Fernando Adi, who is available in the 18 tonight. When it comes to Nashville, though, despite falling in the Eastern standings, Alan Koch told me before the match that a struggling team, well, they can be pretty dangerous to face off, and he felt Nashville was the better team the last time the two saw each other on the road. When it comes to rivalries, well, it could be the start of something special with these two MLS expansion clubs.
Yeah, no question about that. They won't see each other next year unless it's the Open Cup, but do play 3 times this year. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Levy Law, where they turn your crash into cash for FC Cincinnati. Richie Ryan with a calf injury, and newcomer Fatai Alashe, a groin injury, but he was full training yesterday and getting close to being able to play. Tonight's match official is Izmir Pekmic, and it is brought to you by Kingsgate Transportation. We are just about set. Pekmic, it'll be the second time FC Cincinnati has seen him this year. He was the man in the middle for the match back on June 2nd at New York. A 2-1 victory for the Orange and Blue, and the match that started this 10-match unbeaten streak for Alan Koch's team. We are underway. First time Nashville and Cincinnati have met in the Queen City. As Lindsay mentioned, a 0-0 draw 4 weeks ago. We'll see what happens tonight. Thanks for bearing with us, starting about an hour late. Koenig trying to start quickly into the final third. Brings it into the 18. Switches to his left foot. And King Koenig tallies in the first minute.
Well, Tommy, we expected it to be intense. Didn't take long for those smoke bombs to go off. What a finish by Danny Koenig.
The fastest goal in franchise history. And Nashville, with their back against the wall, huddling up after conceding their early strike.
Don't see this very often. Pickens actually pulled everybody in a huddle. We'll see this replay instead. What a finish with his left foot, Tommy. Top corner, we talked about Pickens being the difference in the game. Well, that didn't stop Danny Koenig from putting it in the top bag. 1-0, what a start.
Koenig's team-high 10th goal on the season. Guess that extra hour was worth the wait.
Well, we talked about it before the game. Who would this favor, right? The delay, I think always the home team. So familiar with this surface, the locker room, everything to do with Nippert Stadium. And FC Cincinnati have come out of the traps fast, Tommy.
Well, the fans certainly had enough time to stay hydrated leading up to the 8:30 start. And Nippert roars early, but Nashville's going to have a corner kick opportunity at an equalizer here in the 3rd minute.
Oh, we were going to talk about the game being intense, a lot of fireworks. Danny Koenig just set it up for us. Now they've got to defend the corner, though. Got to stay switched on in this.
Wynn, the Texas native, will swing it from the right of Newton. Comes across the middle. Hoyt got his boot on it, but Nashville will keep possession, working left to right. Sent inside of the 18, headed in the direction of Newton by Hume. Al-Badawi was chasing it. Ledesma got a piece, and now Nazmi, trying to track it down, does so. Keeps it in play. Blake Smith forward on to Bone. Bone taps it down to Al-Badawi. Nazmi will try to switch it over to the right, where Ledesma will give chase. Alan Koch always asks for a quick start. Doesn't get much better than that. Came in about 31 seconds for Danny Koenig's 10th of the year.
Well, we talked about this week as well, Tommy, about, Adi coming in, big-time signing. How does that impact other players around him? Danny Koenig, he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and he showed it. First minute of the game comes in and scores that goal. That's what we call healthy competition right there.
Danny Koenig was very honest in speaking with the media this week. This club's in first place. They've done well. He leads the team in scoring, was tied with Ledesma coming in this match, and he said, hey, I hope that the guys who are performing the best play, whether that's myself or Manu or Fernando Adi or Emery Welshman or anybody else, it's the guys who are performing should be out there on the pitch, and that's why he's starting tonight.
And that goes without saying, Tommy. Really, price tag aside, it's got to be the person that's bringing end product to the game. If you're an attacking player, you're setting up goals or you're scoring goals. Danny Koenig certainly answered that call.
So a quick start for Alan Conch. Blake Smith will throw it in the 4th minute with his side on top, 1-0. Ledesma trying to send it forward in the direction of Koenig. Koenig got around Liam Doyle, the defender. I mentioned a 3-5-2, a bit of change in shape for Nashville. And FC Cincinnati felt that they would have the opportunity to run at these center backs tonight. Kanon over to Smith. He'll send it forward in the direction of Ledesma. Knocked off Manu's foot. Well, your keys to the match were set for a 0-0 game. What do you have for FC Cincinnati tonight?
Let's start with the second one, creating more scoring opportunities.
There you go.
Well, we've seen that already. I think the big key for that as well, in that game against Nashville the last time, 0-0 game, Pickens, as I said, played a big part of coming off of his line and denying FC Cincinnati chances in behind that back line. The first thing, and we saw this again the last time these two teams played, was improvement and build-up. You know, Nashville came out very physical last game, almost a little dirty, I would say, where they're trying to enforce their will upon FC Cincinnati and really broke down any build-up play at all. So I think FC Cincinnati, Kenny Walker, Corbin Bone, those types of players have to get into half spaces, be outlets for the back four, and hopefully build and create.
Kanon chasing in the defensive third, turns it forward but sends it out far touchline. Throw in for Nashville right at the attacking third, 6th minute. It'll come in onto the foot of Reed. Reed retreats a little bit. Nashville has had a heck of a hard time scoring as of late. Just 1 goal in their last 5 matches, 1 goal on their last 61 shots. FC Cincinnati, on the other hand, 2 or more goals in 9 of their last 10 games. The only match they didn't have 2 goals in the last 10 games was 4 weeks ago at Nashville.
I think it's interesting as well. You talk about that lack of scoring opportunities or creativity by Nashville. A player with Maloto, who we thought was one of the best players, isn't starting tonight.
Well, Maloto, I thought, was fantastic when these two teams met.
I thought he was
at
terrific.
Nissan Stadium.
You know, very dangerous player that likes to float. Really, the playmaker, so to speak, really has a free role. Shocking and surprising not to see him in the starting 11 tonight.
Well, it's interesting. Gary Smith not happy with the way his team has played of late. In those last 5 games, only 4 out of 15 possible points. And I was told before the match the club lost their day off this week, didn't get an off day, and had a couple 2-a-day sessions to prepare for this one.
That's the thing, too. You can't just look at what's happening in games, Tommy. A lot of times as well, it's what's happening in training sessions.
Yeah.
You know, is the environment right? Are they training hard enough really to get ready for the games? And I think if Gary Smith is setting that tone, I think the answer is no on that.
Foul was called about 10 yards away from FC Cincinnati's dugout. Kenny Walker will spot up from 35 yards away. I mentioned it off the top quickly, but Matt Pickens back in goal for Nashville. Missed the last 2 games after he was kneed in the back against Ottawa. C.J. Cochran started in his place. Walker with his right foot will send it to the 18. Manu Ledesma got it on his head, but Pickens was there to catch it.
Good delivery again by Kenny Walker. Just whips it in towards the front post. Ledesma, a little bit of a flick on. Couldn't really get too much power. Doesn't trouble Pickens too much. And you talked about Pickens as well. He's also the goalkeeper coach at Nashville.
Yep.
So it's obviously his decision to make sure he's good enough to play. Certainly qualified and experienced enough to be the number 1. And I think just a statement from him and from this club as well, for him to be in a questionable position and starting this game tonight says a lot.
Pickens, the 36-year-old goalkeeper. Meanwhile, Nashville into the final third, sent across by Allen Wynn, headed down by Hume, cleared by Walker to the near side, and the throw will come on the touchline from Kimura. To the foot, goes into the middle off of Hume, deflected away, and FC Cincinnati under a little bit of pressure here, leading by a goal. Sent to the box. Lahoud back in after missing a pair of games with an injury. Now we have 2 soccer balls out on the pitch. One has been cleared away, so they'll let him play on. Blake Smith touches it as it bounds out along the end line. Another corner kick coming for Nashville, who's had a bit of possession here despite conceding that early goal.
I'd say, honestly, since the goal, really, I think it's been all Nashville. You know, and FC Cincinnati talked about it, Alan Koch and the staff as well, about how much respect they have to show Nashville tonight. Quality team.
Wynn will again take the corner kick, brought to you by the Levy Law Offices, this time from the near side. Plays it inside of the 18. Corbin Bone knocked it down, but LaGrassa turned on a shot, deflected away. Danny Koenig giving chase at the end line, and another corner for Nashville.
I think a partnership as well that's really going to trouble Declan Keenan and Forrest Lasso a little bit. Alan Wynn and Tucker Hume, you talked about it already, those two playing together at North Carolina. Anytime that you've got that understanding coming into a game, that partnership, it's really going to test the two center backs.
Bit of extracurricular activity inside of the 6-yard box, and the match official is going to come over and tell Taylor Washington and Manuel Ledesma to cut it out. Wynn, 23 years old. Sends it inside the penalty area. Headed by Hume. Now knocked back by LaGrassa. The strike is headed away by Declan Keenan right in front of Evan Newton.
Did what he had to as well. Being in the right place at the right time for that. It's a great strike. It was on target as well. Very important clearance by Declan Keenan.
Kimura will throw it in. Kimura and Pickens, of course, MLS champions in 2010 with the Colorado Rapids with their current head coach, Gary Smith. Forrest Lasso comes in to knock it away using his noggin from Hume, but Nashville keeps the possession. Al-Badawi trying to pick it back up, cannot. Ledesma loses it. Kumara swings it across the mouth of the goal all the way to the far side where it's tracked down by Washington. Justin Davis, the 6-foot defender, sent into the box, headed right into the chest of Evan Newton. Alan Wynn got his head on it, but unable to beat Newton. Bone will drop it back for Smith, and FC Cincinnati is just going to try to catch their breath and set up some sort of buildup. Corbin Bone has the space to do so on the left. Gets it into the middle to Koenig. He's knocked down, no whistle. Then Ledesma comes in on Liam Doyle, fouls him. Bit unnecessary on the foul. Although it does stop play, Ledesma has to be careful sitting on 7 yellow cards.
Didn't see too much in it, really.
Gary Smith asking for a card. While he does that, let's take a look at that last scoring opportunity that really tested FC Cincinnati. Here's the ball across.
You talk about big plays. This is the opportunity to come in. Didn't get a lot of power on it, but Evan Newton collects it calmly. Starts another possession.
It was Wynn on the header. He was a 2018 draft pick by the Colorado Rapids. On loan currently to Nashville. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank. Walker unable to keep it in, far touch. Nashville will throw it in. Well, the first ever goal in this series between Cincinnati and Nashville comes from Danny Koenig, and it comes in fast fashion. Now 30 seconds into the match, it's the difference thus far.
Well, we've discussed already, Tommy, you know, the pressure that Nashville have put on FC Cincinnati. I think they've controlled possession. Big thing, too, to keep in mind, they've changed their shape tonight compared to when they played down in Nashville. They're playing in a 3-5-2 tonight. That home game that they played was in a 4-2-3-1. It's a little bit even more aggressive by Gary Smith, trying to get a reaction. Something I think they tried in preseason. They lost both their games, so they kind of scrapped it and moved on to a 4-2-3-1, but changed back into a 3-5-2, and it's something FC Cincinnati have to deal with.
So they had lots of training this week to get ready for this match, knowing they were coming into Nippert Stadium with about 28,000 fans expected. We started an hour late. I think it was worth it. The orange and blue leading by a goal. Voting is open this weekend for the USL's monthly awards. Have your say in the votes for Player of the Month, Goal of the Month, and Save of the Month at uslsoccer.com. Seemingly the orange and blue have had candidates for Goal of the Month in June and July. Justin Hoyt sets to throw it in. Hoyt across the middle, now to Al-Badawi. Ledesma with pressure on, gives it off to Walker. Bone to the right, Al-Badawi, and here comes Koenig up the right side.
Much better build-up.
Koenig trying to get inside the 11 again. In his way was Justin Davis. Koenig not happy with Davis, who gives him a shove. And now Ismir Pekmic is going to have to calm things down. Ledesma goes over to get Koenig out of there. Koenig wasn't happy about the contact inside the penalty area.
I think Davis is going to end up getting a yellow card on this.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think there's much that Danny Koenig really did wrong. He has to let it go now, though.
Yeah.
Ref maybe just going to settle it down. Give maybe a warning just to both players. I don't think Danny Koenig did much. A little bit of contact. His style, Tommy, you know that.
Yep. He's going to come right at you.
He's going to come at you, but I don't think it was anything that was too flagrant.
Let's find out. Here's a look.
Touch here. Both players scrapping for the ball. Maybe there's a little bit of a lean there, but I think Davis already kind of committed to the ground. He's got his right arm here wrapped around Danny Koenig's neck, if you can see it.
A little bit of a tug of the jersey, but nothing flagrant.
Trying to use his body really just to separate himself from the ball.
And now they're having a calm conversation about the play.
Playing charades, I think.
It's funny how suddenly they're smiling. Moments ago, wanted to take each other's heads off. And
they're fine. All good.
Now back to making post-match dinner plans. 16th minute, 1-0 FC Cincinnati, as Matt Pickens sends it out across midfield. Hoyt gets the touch, and Lasso will send it the other way.
See him again, both of them.
Yep.
Straight at it.
Walker knocks it into the middle. Corbin Bone will find it and knock it back to Al-Badawi. Over to Ledesma, onto the left, Smith. Back to Nazmi. Smith chasing towards the end line to the far post. Koenig got his head on it. Had Kenny Walker coming up from behind, but Walker slipped and Koenig couldn't connect with him.
Ball over to Koenig was just a little high. Obviously, we all saw what he was trying to do. Knock it back into Kenny Walker's stride. Just unable to get up and head down with it. You've got to love his aggression, though. I think I'm a coach, you know, and he's being aggressive.
There was a great opportunity there from LaGrassa on the header. Went just wide to the left of diving Evan Newton.
The flip side, you talk about aggressive. LaGrassa just does really well to open up and penetrate into this space. Good hanging ball across, times it perfectly. That's not far away.
Newton may have had it covered.
I'm not sure he would have got there, honestly, Tommy. Slight delay in his reaction.
Newton tonight making his 17th start of the year. Remember last time the Orange and Blue played in league play, Spencer Ritchie started. Nothing was wrong with Evan Newton. Alan Koch felt that Spencer earned a start. He got it against New York, and that was a match that FC Cincinnati won here at home 2-1. Important to note, too, with Koenig's goal, the forwards are back to scoring after 4 in a row from the center backs. Lasso with his right foot out across midfield. Ledesma giving chase. Woodbury is there. Heads it out on the touchline, and FC Cincinnati will throw it in there a few steps to the left of Alan Koch.
Let's go back to that aggressive thought. If I'm a coach, Tom, I'd rather have a player that's going to be aggressive. It's easier to taper that player down a little bit and calm down. A player that's naturally passive, though, it's hard to light that fire, you know? For a guy like Danny Koenig, if I'm Alan Koch, I'm happy with 11 of those type of players. You're always going to get a reaction. You're always going to get an honest effort.
Poorly played ball into the middle, right to Danny Koenig, but he had no help with 3 gold jerseys around him, so he dropped it back to Hoyt. Lahoud coming off that glute injury back into the starting lineup, sent it across the middle, but Nashville won it back. Ball played forward, a bit too heavy onto the foot of Newton.
FC Cincinnati just have to slow down a little bit, not build. Try to establish some possession. It's tough. Talked about the 3-5-2 for Nashville. They're trying to break.
Advantage is played as Lahoud was fouled hard. Bone onto the right, Ledesma. Ledesma right back to Corbin Bone. Inside of the 18, Woodbury was there on the defense to break it up. Hoyt able to keep it alive, trying to go to Danny Koenig. Frantic pace here in the first 20 minutes in Nippert Stadium. Al-Badawi into the middle, couldn't connect with Walker, then Walker deflects it out along the end line. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Frisch's. Alan Koch is pleading his case. I think he felt that foul on Michael Lahoud was worthy of a yellow card. Bit of a hip check into Lahoud. While Matt Pickens takes the goal kick. Good to see Tomi Amiobi, 2 booths to our right, playing dad tonight. Brought his newborn with him. Born about a week and a half ago, and Amiobi enjoying the match tonight with his first child. Just down the way from us here on the 5th floor at Nippert Stadium. And you can see Allen chatting with the 4th official about that foul. Meanwhile, Justin Hoyt gets set to throw it in right at midfield, far side. FC Cincinnati this year 6-2-2 at home. Their 6 wins at home match the 6 they have on the road. Feels like it's been forever since they were on the road. The last time they played away from Nippert Stadium was against Nashville. Foul will be called on Justin Hoyt in the midfield, and Nashville earns the free kick.
Yeah, really starting to get heated. Both sets of players, physical, aggressive. I think Alan Koch was talking to the referee just before that. You saw that the chat with the 4th official. I think he wanted a yellow card for that late knock on Michael Lahoud. Here we go, Declan Keenan now.
Yeah.
This next play, Declan Keenan now is being a little bit aggressive with Tucker Hume, but we've seen that as well, Tommy.
Yeah. Declan's going to set the tone.
He's going to plant his feet and say, this is my space.
Usually works out in favor of Declan when he does that. Nashville will set for a free kick in the 21st minute. Comes from Doyle into the 18, headed away in the direction of Al-Badawi, and a foul is going to be called on Nazmi. He got tied up with Akinyoti, and the fans here in the Queen City don't approve.
I think it's a foul. I think the referee gets it right. Nazmi just overextends a little bit.
Now a dangerous free kick for Nashville, trailing by a goal here in the first half.
Akinyoti was just impeded. I'll see it again on the replay here. Just a little bit of contact in the back.
I don't know. If the foul down here, if it's not a foul, it's the same contact, right?
The referee's 2 yards away, Tommy, so I'm guessing he has a good vantage point.
You're saying we're not 2 yards away? Our fantastic cameramen bring us 2 yards away. Meanwhile, FC Cincinnati, Evan Newton have to be ready for this one. 4 different Nashville players standing over the ball right now. They're going to play it short, then Doyle strikes it. Defended well by the orange and blue.
Thomas, you're giving the referees a hard time.
No, it's just...
You've got to change, man. There has to be a paradigm shift, I think.
Listen. We've been doing this together for 3 years, right? How many times have I really gone in on the referee?
Oh.
Once. Once.
One time.
In the meantime, Nashville onto the attacking third. Hume gets around Lahoud, and then Lasso intercepts the pass, but Wynn picks it up. Sends it across the middle. Ball bouncing around. Akinyoti came away with it and gets it onto the left, Washington. He'll send it across the mouth of the goal. Hume able to track it down and drop it back for Kimura. Kimura working with Bone on him. Warren Bone takes it off his foot.
I have a feeling this game's going to get better and better as it goes on, Tommy.
Well, the possession right now heavily in favor of Nashville as we've reached the midway point of the first half. But the orange and blue, thanks to Danny Koenig, leading by a goal.
And for any neutral watching at home, it's going to be a fantastic night for entertainment.
Hume trying to draw a foul, goes down to the edge of the 18, won't get it. Wynn takes a shot, it deflects off Michael Lahoud, and Newton scoops it up with no problem, and Hume was completely flopping on that ball on the end line, and Peknich wasn't buying it.
Declan Keenan just telling Evan Newton, calm down. Let's start to build up again, let's relax.
A little bit of contact.
I'm telling you what, and again, I'm calling it like I see it. I don't think Forrest Lasso has to do that. Hume's turning away from goal. There's no need him, he doesn't have to be overzealous on that. Just show him away from goal. He doesn't have to win the ball.
Ledesma unable to get it into the middle. Good defense there from Akinyode. Hume in the midfield with Lasso on his back again.
These types of situations, players there's a ton of energy coming from the crowd, a lot of excitement, passion. You've got to be able to slow the brain down and make smart decisions.
Certainly the biggest crowd that Nashville SC has played in front of here in their inaugural season. They're fired up. FC Cincinnati is excited, and it has been a heated match through the first 24 minutes. I mentioned earlier Ismir Pekmic. Pekmic is the second time FC Cincinnati's seen him in that match on June 2nd. 4 yellow cards. And remember, he awarded a penalty kick to the Baby Bulls. That was missed, and that's when that match completely flipped, and FC Cincinnati scored twice late to win 2-1. Doyle with his left foot will switch sides over to the right. Kimura waiting for it. Blake Smith got there first and won it on the header. Smith unable to get it back from Bone. Commits the foul on Akinyode.
I think if I'm Declan Keenan, the captain right now, I've got to tell the team, hey, we've got to get back to this game plan. We can't get caught up in Nashville being physical. We saw it before the last time the two teams played. A little bit of retribution, a little bit of revenge as well. That natural rivalry, which is great to see, but again, intelligence has to prevail here.
FC Cincinnati continues their stranglehold on first place in the Eastern Conference right now with 44 points. Nashville in 8th in the East. So if the playoffs were starting tonight, this would be a first-round playoff matchup. And no doubt a heavyweight bout. Of course, they don't start tonight. When they played 4 weeks ago, it was first against third. That's how tough this stretch has been for the visitors.
That's honestly a shocking scenario, too. Very shocked if Nashville do end up there at the end of the season.
Right.
To me, they've got too much talent. And we talked about in the preview this week, you can't overlook it. I know none of the players are, none of the coaching staff are.
They're going to figure it out, just hopefully not
tonight.
Over the next 65 minutes. LaGrassa over to the left side, now across the middle onto the foot of Reed. Reed had been out with an injury to his foot. Returns to the lineup. Kimura across the middle. Kanon heads it away and is fouled as he does. Hume came in and knocked him down.
I think no matter what, FC Cincinnati have to prove it to themselves as well, Tommy. To be able to put in a good performance against a solid team like Nashville. That's a late hit.
Yeah, Tucker Hume with a...
Trying to get his own back there a little bit.
Hume, a big lad at 6'5", going up against 6'1" Declan Kanon, who seems unfazed.
And this is why I think the referee's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I don't think he's missed much,
That's all we ask for. Consistency in our officiating.
Hopefully consistently good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Consistently bad, but yes.
I was working my way there. Corbin Bone up to Manuel Ledesma. Ledesma's knocked down. And FC Cincinnati will have a chance to extend their lead here in the first half.
I think this is a moment really that FC Cincinnati needed. Just allows them to gather themselves, push up the field, set up a dangerous opportunity from a set piece. Something that we've seen, obviously, the perfect execution on some set pieces over the last few weeks at Nippert Stadium.
Doyle committed the foul. Ledesma's going to walk away, which means Kent Walker will strike it with his right foot.
What odds will you give me on a center-back scoring here, Tommy?
Well, after the way things went in the month of July, much better than I would have before the month of July. Kanon and Lasso inside of the 6-yard box. There's some pushing and shoving going on, and Pekmic is going to go over and break it up before he allows Kenny Walker to hit it. Pekmic just said no more.
Blake Smith's got a ton of space at the top of the box here.
Walker sends it in, headed away by the two-man wall. Corbin Bone will retreat.
This is a moment here. FC Cincinnati have to be very, very careful. Nashville, great counter-attacking team. FC Cincinnati just had to make sure that the preventive coverage was good.
Well, I think that's why Corbin just
Take a second.
played it safe and sent it right back to Newton.
Very good decision too. Nashville very threatening on the counter.
Now the orange and blue will get the throw in just to the left of their own dugout. Blake Smith comes forward to take it. Fires it into Ledesma. He'll dance on the near touchline. Looking to draw a foul with Kimura there. Comes off of his foot, thrown in again by Bone. Smith with a nice move. Gets it across the middle. It was deflected and Al-Badawi unable to catch up with it. Bahoud trying to tap it forward. Could not.
I like that decision, honestly. I think the FC Cincinnati have to let the game breathe a little bit. Surprised Evan Newton went long again, but the difference again, I talked to Alan as well this week. You know, when you played against the Nashville team down there in a 4-4-2 diamond, there wasn't a ton of space. Tonight at Nippert, there should be a little bit of a difference. A lot wider of a field, more time and opportunity for the left and right sided players in that diamond to open up into those half spaces. And here's another challenge from Forrest Lasso.
Into the book.
Going to result in a yellow card.
Well, it was only a matter of time until we saw a booking one way or the other. And the first of the night goes to Forrest Lasso in the 30th minute.
Yellow card warning issued by Cincinnati.
Those are two big boys getting tangled up.
Two big boys, yeah.
And I have no problem with that booking.
I think it's just on that where he kind of hangs on his back. Again, I think the referee's been good.
Yeah. 6th yellow card of the year for Forrest Lasso. Free kick coming for Nashville in the midfield. London Woodbury, the 24-year-old, will send it towards the 18 in the direction of Hume.
Great head.
Kanon got there first.
Great winner there. Just gets up, wins it.
Al-Badawi will deflect it away towards the corner. Skipped in favor of Nashville, and another corner kick coming for the visitors here just past the half-hour mark.
Well, we're starting to see that challenge. Beckel Keenan, Forrest Lasso battling out with Tucker Hume and Alan Wynn.
This corner kick brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. It'll come in the 32nd minute. Nashville trailing by a goal. Then Wynn, the 5'10" forward. Serves it into the 18. Kanon got there first. Bone giving chase. Kimura will keep it alive for Nashville. Davis into the 18. Kanon heads it forward again. Boy, has he been active.
Another great header and challenge there. It's going to be key, especially now you're starting to see the style of Nashville really trying to play into their targets. Not really combining that much. They're playing into the target and trying to find LaGrasse underneath. Reed starting to come inside as well. Washington. Still say the same thing. I think FC Cincinnati have to figure this game out. They've got to take the emotion out of it. Get back to playing.
Walker giving chase on Akinyode. And Wynn can't get to it. Hoyt out into the midfield where Doyle will settle it to his left foot. Mora with some space on the right. Sends it inside of the 18. Newton's there to punch it away, but it falls to LaGrasse. LaGrasse will send it right back. Blake Smith able to pick it up defensively and clear it up the left side. We've seen a lot of those clearances that have come deep inside the defensive third have sailed out on the near touchline.
Kimura again, you talked about him playing for Colorado. Talented player, puts a dangerous ball in. Brave challenge by Evan Newton to come out against the big man Tucker Hume. He's been very active for Nashville.
Bone forward finds Ledesma, lost his touch. A rare miscue by Manu. Lasso wins the header against Hume. Corbin Bone then comes from behind and takes it off the foot of Reed.
Great challenge by Corbin Bone. This is where they need to slow down a little bit. Just find space. Try to get into a rhythm. It's okay to go backwards.
Right on cue. Lasso will switch it over to the left side. Smith.
I think they can do this again, even more often. Just switch the point of attack.
Ledesma with a great ball forward to Blake Smith. Smith will send it inside of the 18, and Doyle got there first just before it found the foot of Al-Badawi. Walker to the right, Hoyt. He'll try to split a pair of defenders. Sends it to Bone. Bone back to Hoyt. Pickens steps forward, comes off his line, and gets there first.
Corbin Bone starting to feel it, Tommy. Always a catalyst for the attack for FC Cincinnati. Such an intelligent player as well. I just saw him before. They're just directing Kenny Walker where he wanted that next pass to go.
Kimura pushing it into the final third for Nashville. Looking for Hume. Lasso headed it away. And then Smith forward on Ledesma, who was knocked down.
Surprised that's not a yellow.
Woodbury got a piece of him. Alan Koch is surprised as well. Made his way all the way out to midfield. The fourth official is going to push him back. Let's take a look, Kevin.
Especially on Forrest Lasso's yellow card. Comes in here hard on his back.
He's not playing the ball.
No, he hip checks him really. Goes in pretty hard with his hip.
Lasso will take the free kick. 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here in the first half. FC Cincinnati on top 1-0. If you're just joining us, it was Danny Koenig in the first minute with his 10th goal of the season. And if you're looking for the new number 9, Fernando Adi, not in the starting 11 tonight. He is involved in the 18, and I would expect that we see him, after joining the club on Monday from Portland, make his orange and blue debut at some point in the second half. But Desma's ball to the 18 was heavy, headed away to the far touchline by Washington, and that's where it'll be thrown in by Justin Hoyt.
Before that moment happens, with Adi coming on too, Tom, I think they've really just got to improve possession from the defensive third into the middle third. That's the concern right now for FC Cincinnati.
Desma intercepts the pass, then gives it right back. Nashville picks it up with Davis. Slides it up the left side. Nashville will work on their counter from there, when Michael Lahoud steps forward and gets it back. Let's see if FC Cincinnati can do something in transition. Bone. To the right, Al-Badawi. Over to Ledesma, who will switch it on to the left. Smith in the midfield showing patience. Works it forward for Nasby. Comes off his first touch awkwardly. Nashville able to win it back. Touch up the left side is heavy. Justin Hoyt gets there first. Then has the pressure coming from behind from Washington.
Did well with the pressure from Washington too. Just turn the corner, win a throw in. See this high press from Nashville. It's very hard for FC Cincinnati to get any type of possession. But Desmond does well just to break it. And Smith has a little bit of space to find Corbin Bone.
Bone back to Smith, now to Lasso, and it'll slowly roll in to Evan Newton. Off the head of Koenig. And up the right side in the direction of Blake Smith. Smith has it bounce off his toes awkwardly, and Kimura quickly throws it back in for Nashville. Reed to win. Onto the left, Magrassa. A little bit of room to work over to the left side. Magrassa working just outside of the 18. Gave it forward to Win, who tried to spin, lost it. Then Nashville got it right back with Reed.
That again is just an example where it's breaking down from FC Cincinnati. They win it back. They try to start possession. Nashville press and win another attack.
Win inside of the 18. Got around Lahoud. Then LaHood was able to slow him down just enough. Reed outside of the 18. Corbin Bone trying to win it back. Hume touched it softly, trying to find his teammate from UNC, Alan Wynn. And FC Cincinnati did enough defensively to break it up.
I think right now they've just got to be a little bit direct here so they don't get caught in the press. Try to break the line. That's the position where Nashville are going to try to win it back. Got to try to break that line, Tommy. Maybe go a little bit more direct and long into the channels.
Yodi over to the far touchline. Nashville's been creating opportunities throughout the first half. Forrest Lasso heads it away. Nashville wins it right back. Kumar. Across the middle, ball comes off of LaGrassa. Newton was out of position, and LaGrassa didn't direct it on frame. It skipped wide. Boy, was that a golden opportunity for Nashville to equalize the match.
A great chance, you know, chance after chance, really, they've created these last 15, 20 minutes. Doesn't see it, LaGrassa hits off his shin, actually. Just see his reaction there. Didn't really understand he had enough time to maybe take it down with his first touch. I think Ledesma's got to get into more of a central position, provide Danny Koenig a little bit of support, give the option then for, you know, the back four to find a longer pass. Ledesma's dropping back very, very deep, so it's leaving Danny Koenig really in a 1 versus 3 situation a lot of times with the 3 center backs. You can see it right on your picture. I think Ledesma's got to get a little bit higher and occupy that other center back pairing.
Ledesma got it in the middle to Al-Badawi, but he wasn't able to do anything with it. Nashville left to right with Justin Davis, the Arizona native and New Mexico product. Comes into the middle of LaGrassa. Deflected away. Davis has it fall to his foot. 41st minute at Nippert Stadium. Tom Glitter, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson, happy to be with you. We got started an hour late, and I've seen a physical first half so far here in the Queen City. Woodbury, a little bit of pressure from Bone, has to retreat. Doyle will look it to the left. Nashville will work forward to the final third. LaGrassa into the 18. Out to the left side, sent across the box. Blake Smith does well to turn on it and send it to the near touchline.
Definitely Nashville's MO tonight. Service from wide positions, trying to find the 2 targets. Tucker Hume and Alan Wynn. FC Cincinnati have to do a better job of really pressing these half
Wynn
spaces
with
a
ton of room into the 18, ripples the side of the net as Evan Newton didn't touch it, so it'll be a goal kick. But Wynn was looking to pass it, looked up, and there were 4 FC Cincinnati jerseys all 10 yards away.
So we're talking about this half space right in here, Tommy. Kenny Walker's that right-sided midfielder in the diamond. Michael LaHood's the bottom of the diamond. It's causing FC Cincinnati a lot of problems right now. You'd be surprised maybe if Allen goes back into 4-2-3-1 with 2 screens just to pick up.
Well, that was what he did in the game at Nashville 4 weeks ago. Played the first half in a 4-4-2, went to a 4-2-3-1 in the second half. It created more chances, certainly, for the orange and blue. FC Cincinnati had a couple great looks late to win the match. One of them from Kenny Walker, another from Russell Cicerone. Smith in the midfield, can't find Bone. LaHood wins it back. I'll drop back to Lasso.
Better, much better.
LaHood was trying to play it forward to Ledesma, who had stopped his run.
That's just where you're forcing that pass. Right now, it's not about creating opportunities, it's about keeping the ball.
Make sure you stay tuned. Coming up at the half, a great feature with Alan Koch. He was mic'd up for the Charlotte game a few weeks ago in July, that midweek match. And we will take you behind the scenes with FC Cincinnati's head coach, as well as give you the highlights from the first 45 minutes and the stats as well. Danny Koenig giving chase to the far touchline. Davis was there, got a piece of him. The linesman on the far side signaled FC Cincinnati ball, but the match official is going to overrule him and give it to Nashville. That will not make Ismir Pekmic very popular here in Clifton. Bone sends it back to Lasso. 44th minute. Lasso looking in the direction of Ledesma. Woodbury fell down. And Ledesma may have just put his hand on him enough to get the foul call.
It's a foul, but it's a better position, starting position for Ledesma. Talked about being in more of a central role, supporting Danny Koenig. It provides Forrest Lasso with that option to knock it long. Just a little bit of a push.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Woodbury certainly sold it, but there was the contact.
I think he actually stepped on his foot too to trip him over.
Bounding ball at midfield. It'll be Nashville throwing from Kimura. Onto the foot of Hume. Bone there defensively to try to win it back. Cannot. Instead it goes to Win. Back to Akinyode. Al-Badawi was giving chase, but couldn't get there. Nashville will keep the possession as we head towards stoppage time. Swung in from the left side, headed right in front of Newton, and Dekel Kanon came over 2 steps in front of the goal line to clear it away. One minute of stoppage time here in the first half. Smith intercepts the pass, feeds it to Bone, who will try to work it into the midfield. FC Cincinnati is trying to get out of their defensive third right now. Walker over to the right side, Koenig. Koenig, the difference in this match so far.
You see how quickly Nashville get back into that low block.
Point to Al-Badawi. Nosby quickly has 2 defenders on him and can't do anything with it.
Gotta say again, Nashville being impressive, Tommy. Both sides of the ball they've looked, in my opinion, the better team in this first half.
Absolutely. Well, they're going to have one more chance to try to score before heading into the dressing room. Walker has other plans, knocking it away from Wynn. Ball will slowly roll out on the end line, and that'll be enough. The halftime whistle sounds here at Nippert Stadium with FC Cincinnati on top by a goal thanks to Danny Koenig. 30 seconds into the match, made it 1-0. That's where we stand. Lindsey Patterson is downstairs with Alan Koch. Take it away, Lindsey.
Yeah, Coach, your guys get on the board early, but it was starting to get heated in the first half, and Nashville creating chances late. What do you tell them at halftime?
Well, obviously you're happy to score the goal that early in the game, but sometimes the worst thing you can do is score a goal in the first or second minute because you think that's how the whole 45 minutes are going to go, and obviously it wasn't that way. So we need to do a better job of possessing the ball. I think when we keep the ball, we show how good we are. If we turn it over, we allow them to play. And the second thing, something that happens quite often, is we're sagging way too much. You concede so much space, and you allow them to come play in your half.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsey. Both clubs will head into the dressing room, and we'll be back with our halftime coverage after this break. FC Cincinnati leading Nashville 1-0. 45 in the books, 45 still to come. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Halftime here at Nippert Stadium between FC Cincinnati and Nashville SC. For the Orange and Blue head coach Alan Koch, attention to detail is very important. A few weeks ago when his side took on Charlotte, he wore a microphone, and today we take you behind the scenes.
Okay, it seems quite relaxed right now, which is fine. Provided second game starts, we're ready to go. Okay, we all know this. Every team that comes and plays here, fired up to play right from the start. If we don't come out of the gates at 100%, it becomes a difficult game. Okay, everybody has to be ready to go. Let's go, Rossi. Let's go. Let's go, Matty. Let's go, Patty. Let's go, Manu. Let's go. Enjoy it. The guys just need to be ready to go right from the start. Okay? So, okay, cool. Okay, absolute discipline in the game. Absolute discipline. Don't get involved with the ref. Don't get involved with them. Focus on what we have to do in the game tonight. Good? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Already, hey? Everybody, lots and lots of energy. If we need it, hey? We're good. Let's go. Let's go.
FC Cincinnati playing in front of another record-setting crowd at Nippert Stadium to take on the Charlotte Independents in the USL Game of the Week.
Good, like it. Tempo! Tempo! Get out. Good work.
John Freeman will keep a close eye on it as Manu Ledesma hits the corner kick, comes off the post. Deco Kanon is there to finish it.
There, go. Yes! Yes!
NFC Cincinnati is on the board in the 7th minute.
Hey, yeah! Come on! Hey, come on! Come on! Get high for. Bueno. Thank you.
Now Walker strikes it with his right foot, sending it into the middle, and it's in the back of the goal. Forrest Lasso has his first of the year.
Yes! Yes! We carried the game. It's important for us to come out with the same tempo and certainly not take our foot off the pedal in the second half. Okay? So the game is not over. It's about us now imposing ourselves on them, coming out with that same energy in the first 45 minutes right from the start.
Foster. This bounces and knocked away. Newton.
Yeah, that's right.
Corner on the way for Cincinnati. It's in. But it won't count.
Yeah!
They're waving this off. This may end up being academic to the actual result. It is Herrera.
It's time. Thank you. Well done, boys. Good job. Well done.
Alan Koch's men continue. Now 9 games without a loss.
FC Cincinnati was victorious that night, trying to do the same tonight against a rival in Nashville. Lots of highlights as of late in the USL. Let's take a look.
What a goal! Sandoval with an incredible bicycle! How did that go in? Nice through ball for Williams, he scores!
Takes it to the byline, squares it across, they score!
Dennis still on the move, showing great strength. Dennis lets it fly! Sensational from Aaron Dennis. He equalizes in the 72nd minute.
Chang inside to Sebastian Velasquez, shot and a goal! Sebastian Velasquez!
What did I tell you? That's the Monarchs game.
He cuts back to his left foot. He's going to chip the keeper. Oh, an early goal! Sensational from Anthony Burke-Gilroy. Sounders on top in the 2nd minute.
Here, Rasmussen strikes on goal, and it's in the back of the net. Rasmussen has put OKC in front, 1-0. Here's Stroud in the 18, takes a shot and buries it far post at the start.
Point blank save!
Bonomo the touch, Fleming's the shot.
Quick run up, straight into Ferrigno.
Shot, and what a save.
Malcolm. Ball ricochets out in front and a save by Cardoni.
Coffin leaves a shot. Serta knocks it down. Long strike and a spectacular save by Restrepo.
Knocked away by Marcinkowski.
Through. Could this be a chance for Fernando? Up by Kuzminski. Again blocked by Kuzminski.
This will come to Dylan. Nice save again by McIntosh.
More pressure. Right side. Shot taken. Mizell denies again.
Taylor with an effort. A good save.
As Rasmussen will strike from a long way out, forcing a brilliant save.
Here's a shot, and what a save there from Tambakis.
Left-footed ball from Vukovic, curling there, header, and a save.
Bird into space, saved.
Isaac Diaz, the shot, and the goal.
Into the 18, oh my!
A one-time rip and a goal.
Here, Brody's inside the 18, Brody with a shot, and a goal.
Many great highlights. Last week in the USL, Danny Koenig with a highlight here in the first half. FC Cincinnati on top 1-0. Let's take a look around the USL scoreboard. Right now, lots of action going on in the league. Bethlehem has laid 3 on Richmond. North Carolina FC and Charleston, a 0-0 draw. And that's important because FC Cincinnati has Charleston in second place right behind him, in Pittsburgh, a win at home, 1-0. A look at the standings. FC Cincinnati all alone up top with 44 points. Pittsburgh 40 points, 4 behind. Charleston 5 behind right now in third place. And Nashville drops right below the playoff line with the result for Bethlehem tonight getting the win. The upcoming schedule for FC Cincinnati, the homestand continues. Sunday night, a 6 p.m. start here at Nippert Stadium. Then August 18th, the 6th straight USL game at home at 7:30. Then a midweek game at Atlanta, a trip down to Tampa Bay, and then home again on September 1st. We'll step aside, take a break. When we return, halftime highlights and stats, and we'll get the second half rolling. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Back at Nippert Stadium, where we started an hour late, but FC Cincinnati got started quickly on top of their rival Nashville, 1-0 with 45 minutes in the books. Tom Glitter back alongside my broadcast partner and All-American Kevin McCloskey. Time to take a look at the first half highlights, which are delivered by PapaJohns.com. When FC Cincinnati scores twice, you save the next day on pizza. Use code FCPizza50. Danny Koenig with the big run early to make a difference.
It didn't take him long to get started, really. What a finish, too, with his left foot into the top corner. Set up for a fantastic first half.
So the momentum was in favor of the orange and blue right out of the gate. But boy, Nashville huddled up, and they started creating chances after that header.
Yeah, this was the second chance for FC Cincinnati. Really, the only other clear-cut chance that they had in the first half. Kenny Walker had whipped the ball in, unlucky for Ledesma. We talked about the physicality of this game as well. Crosses coming in from wide positions. Both centre backs have really been challenged tonight. So this other clearance by Declan Keenan as well.
Deco and Forrest Lasso active throughout the first half. Both clubs out of their respective dressing rooms and just about set for the second half. Lindsey Patterson headed in with the orange and blue. Let's go downstairs and check in.
Yeah, guys, I just left the dressing room about 2 minutes ago, and Alan Koch told his team, I understand why we do some of the things we do, but we are the ones creating problems and not Nashville, and it's all because we're sagging out there. And it's life. You get through it, but it's a scary way to play a first half. We need to play tight, in and out of position, 2 against 2 in the middle. The key is to lock as a group. We control what happens in the second 45.
All right, thank you, Lindsey. A special moment before tonight's match we want to slip in before we go to the second half. Air Force Senior Airman Curtis Jones had been stationed in Asia. His family was honored on the field, and they thought, hey, that's cool. We're just here to be honored before the match. But wait, look who got back today. Senior Airman Curtis Jones, and a great moment. I got goosebumps just rewatching it there. And pretty cool moment, Kevin, as he presented the flag that he had on his tour of duty with him to Jeff Birding, and a great moment before the match.
Yeah, very emotional moment, I think, for everybody really inside of the stadium as well, and obviously for his family. It's a great presentation here, obviously, of the flag and then of the jersey too.
Jeff Birding had the entire team sign a jersey for Airman Jones, so thank you for your service. Welcome home. And no doubt enjoying the match tonight with his family. I actually saw him when we went down for the presentation. He was hiding away. They had him in the players' lounge because they were bringing his family down, and obviously did not want to blow the surprise. Evan Newton getting set for the final 45 minutes as these clubs have changed ends. Nashville in their gold kits tonight. Gold tops, gold shorts, and gold socks, and FC Cincinnati in their primary kits with the blue and orange stripes. It's a blue out here at Nippert Stadium, so fans encouraged to wear all blue, and have done a pretty good job with that charge. Sunday night, the 6 o'clock game against Penn FC. Here is a white out. Heard you breaking out white pants, partner.
Oh, you better believe it. With white shoes, Tommy.
Can't wait. Second half underway at Nippert Stadium. FC Cincinnati on top 1-0 thanks to that early goal from Danny Koenig. Kanon heads it back to Newton, who will take his time and then scoop it up. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Sharefax. You know, we talked about it going into the dressing room. There's Ledesma. Knocks it down, and then Koenig will try to work up the right side. Shielded away by Washington. Maybe would Alan Koch switch to the 4-2-3-1? It appears as though he stayed with the 4-4-2 diamond to start the second half.
Yeah, I don't think he's changed anything yet. The biggest thing really is trying to encourage the the right and left players in that diamond to get a little bit wider in possession. It's more about the roles and kind of specific tasks more than anything else.
Al-Badawi inside of the 18, turns and deflects it off of Nashville. Corner kick coming for FC Cincinnati. I believe they're first of the night. Second. Ledesma will take this one. It's brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. It'll come from the near side to the left of Matt Pickens, who has returned tonight after missing 2 matches with a back injury. A cluster of contact inside of the 6-yard box. Kanon and Lahoud involved. Ismir Pekmic is going to call everybody over to try to restore order as Liam Doyle is barking in his direction. Here's what happened.
Pushing and shoving just by Michael Lahoud.
Lahoud knocking down Justin Davis, and Lahoud's getting the talking to right now. Ledesma anxious to take the corner kick. And And LaHood will have his marching orders when Beckmich decides he's had enough. So LaHood will return to the chaos as Ledesma sets to strike it to our right. They'll come in the 48th minute. And FC Cincinnati strike early in the second half. Ledesma on the service. Right in front of Pickens. And a foul's called on FC Cincinnati with contact in front of Nashville's keeper. Let's take a look, Kevin.
Just Declan Kinnan, just maybe a little bit of a grab. There's not a ton in that, though. I mean, there's grabbing from both sides, Tommy, in that.
Pickens' ball comes out across midfield. Washington on the left. Gives it off to LaGrassa. Akinyode trying to catch up with it. LaHood got there first and found Bone. FC Cincinnati left to right. Bone with some space. Over to the left, Al-Badawi. No, I'm sorry, Koenig off his back heel. Caught him awkwardly. Blake Smith will try to service it. Headed down by Doyle. Walker hits it over to the right side. Justin Hoyt had to make a heck of a run to get there first.
Did very well to keep it in.
Didn't find a teammate, but certainly kept the ball alive. Bounding ball across the middle. Justin Hoyt trying to get there. Nashville into the attacking third. And then Hoyt sending it up in the near touchline, didn't get to it. It'll be a throw in inside of the final third for the visitors. Ball will be thrown back to Justin Davis. Davis over to the right side, Kimura. Yusuke Kimura into the 18. Hume was trying to get to the header, shielded away. Nashville able to keep the possession alive. Washington sends it inside of the 18. Blake Smith picks it up. Smith with a great move to get wide on the left side. Now over to LaHood, and the orange and blue showing some patience on their buildup.
That's good play again by Smith, a player that's been very attack-minded as well for FC Cincinnati this season. Especially being his squad's top goal scorer as a defender.
Smith done a good job of setting the plate as well with 4 assists this season. Win. Tried to switch it over to his left foot, could not as FC Cincinnati closed in defensively. Over to the right side, Reed picked it up at the top of the 18. Kenny Walker came from behind and disrupted his plan. Justin Davis with Kenny Walker on him, drops it back for Washington. Washington plays it on to Al-Badawi. Al-Badawi keeps his feet. Feeds it to Hoyt. Hoyt is trying to get it out of the defensive third right now and does so into the midfield. In the direction of Koenig. Nashville able to get there first. Drop back for Davis. Ledesma was there. It comes off of Davis, and now second time tonight that we'll see the match official overrule the linesman and give the ball to Nashville when the throw-in was originally signaled in favor of FC Cincinnati.
Don't waste any time getting it back in play. The second half really, Tommy, has kind of started, you know, the way the first half ended.
Nashville's going to race over for the corner kick. Wynn will set to take it in the 52nd minute. His team trailing by a goal. All of tonight's corner kicks are brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Wynn will take it from the right of Evan Newton, just in front of the Bailey. Wynn swings it, looking far post. Koenig got there first, headed it towards the far touchline. Reed races over to keep it alive. LaHood heads it outside of the 18. Justin Davis providing the preventative coverage. Sends it back, but too strong, and it rolls out along the end line. Third member of our broadcast team is Lindsey Patterson. Let's go downstairs and check in.
Yeah, guys, something to watch out for. Earlier in the second half, Alan Koch brought Tyler Gibson over to chat a little bit, and after he left, I asked what he told Gibson. He says, if they put Tyler Gibson in, make sure that you are forcing Washington to the right because he keeps going left.
All right, thank you, Lindsey. I know Alan is hoping to get Tyler Gibson into the match. He made his orange and blue debut last Saturday in the international friendly here at Nippert when RCD Espanyol was in town from La Liga, a 3-2 loss to the visitors. Gibson looked pretty good that night. Didn't appear to be rusty after not playing in 5 months.
Really, it's been a great recovery. You know, we watched him in practice as well. Looks very sharp, confident. I think he's very excited. If he can get some more minutes under his belt as well, Tommy, against a good team, this Nashville team, I think that sets him up well for the stretch of the season.
Well, this club is set up well as far as the defensive midfield is concerned. We talked about Tyler Gibson being back, basically a midseason pickup, but they picked up somebody else on Monday from Major League Soccer as well. We haven't talked about him a lot because he's not in the 18 tonight, but Fatai Alashe from San Jose, also with this club now, on loan for this season from San Jose, but he is FC Cincinnati's Major League Soccer player in 2019 and a big pickup to go along with Fernando Adi.
Big pickup too. Richie Rana, I think, will be out for a little bit longer, but got him back into the mix as well, Tommy. It's very competitive midfield.
Ledesma races over to keep it alive on the left side. Then trying to send it in the direction of Danny Koenig, mishits it, and it just bounds onto the awaiting arms of Matt Pickens.
He plays a bending, curling ball away from Danny Koenig instead of a driven ball over the top.
Knows he missed out on an opportunity there.
Great opportunity. Danny Koenig had pulled off the center back, had a ton of space in behind.
Talk about a city that was very excited about those signings announced on Monday when Adi and Alashe were announced. When you talk about a striker like Fernando Adi, the big Nigerian, 6'4", and you see him there, he is a built 6'4", just how you described me.
Just like you, Tommy.
Absolutely. I would have to think that Manu Ledesma, eyes lit up when he saw that signing.
It's 100%. I think, you know, again, depending on how the setup's going to be for the remainder of the season, if it's a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 diamond, I think a guy like Ledesma and the profile that he has is going to deliver a lot of service in. If a big target like that in the middle,
yeah,
definitely going to bring you some goals. And I think, again, it depends. You know, Danny Koenig could feature into that as well. Certainly gives Ledesma, like you said, options though to set up.
You saw Fernando moments ago was not warming up with the rest of the subs at the moment, but the plan was to try to get him into the match tonight if possible after he was able to train with the team all week. Tucker Hume, right-footed shot. I think he looked up and thought he might be able to catch Evan Newton a little bit off his line. Didn't get it squarely and sent it up into the Bailey.
That's Tucker Hume's first real opportunity too, with space in front of him. Leans back as he strikes. It goes up into the Bailey. Now, you talked about Adi, Tommy. I don't think that's really a change right now for FC Cincinnati. I think the struggles really have been in those defensive and central positions, trying to establish possession. Talked about the first half. Second half, we've not really seen an improvement yet. It's still early, 10 minutes into the second half.
Washington for Nashville. Knocks it backwards. And it's sent up the left side by Davis. Headed away by Kanon. Hoyt catches up with it right at the touchline.
Justin Hoyt's been solid tonight, though. Him and Blake Smith really been solid in those fullback positions.
Bowen will challenge Woodbury. Draws an extra defender and drops it back to Smith. And FC Cincinnati will hit the reset button on their build-up. Newton mishits it up the right side. Throw in for Nashville right at midfield. Washington was going to take it quickly, then held on to it, and in the end, Justin Davis will encourage him to drop the ball and throw it into play.
27,426.
And they just announced the attendance. 27,426. Second largest crowd of the year. Does not break the mark of 28,026 back on June 16th. We'll let him play on. Ledesma. Forward to Koenig. Koenig far touchline, drops it back for Bone. Bone back to Koenig, inside of the 18. Got around the first defender, and then Davis ends up breaking it up.
The problem for Danny Koenig there, he didn't really have anyone support the pass through. He tried to do it himself. Ran out of...
Nearly accomplished it.
Yeah, ran out of space, really.
Had 3 defenders on him. And it was Davis who ended up disrupting that run.
Great work by Danny Koenig, Luke. Lost that possession, gets back.
59th minute at Nippert Stadium. FC Cincinnati leading 1-0. Thanks to a goal 58 minutes ago by Danny Koenig. Al-Badawi forward to Ledesma. Remember, this is a Nashville side that has struggled in their last 5 games to find the net. Ledesma to the right, Walker. Kenny Walker with his right foot. The ball catches awkwardly and skips up on Matt Pickens, but the veteran reads it well and catches it on his chest.
For a second, you thought that was going to loop over Pickens. Just drops a little bit short, but again, Pickens had to readjust his feeding. Yeah, does well just to collect it comfortably.
Kenny Walker had a ball just like that in the match at Nashville 4 weeks ago that went just over the crossbar.
Yeah.
That one had a little more venom on it.
A little bit more venom is right.
Pickens in that case had to jump high to make sure that it cleared the crossbar. Al-Badawi up the right side was looking for Koenig. Didn't connect. And there is Fernando Adi. The Nigerian, 54 regular season goals in Major League Soccer with Portland. Had a great chat with him earlier this week that we'll have for you on a future halftime feature, but I'll tell you more about it shortly. There's going to be a booking here for FC Cincinnati. Kenny Walker picks up the yellow card on the tackle on Akinyode.
I don't quite understand that call.
Well, let's take a look and see if you...
That advantage come on from it. Here's the challenge. Yeah, it's a foul, but the referee then let advantage play on. Resulted back.
Second yellow card on FC Cincinnati night. Forced Lasso went in the book at the half-hour mark. Alan Koch not happy. He's felt as though there's been a few times Nashville should have landed in the book. They have not thus far. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by UC Health. Liam Doyle, the English defender who played a couple years at Cincinnati State and a couple years at Ohio State, sends it inside of the 18. Hume can't win the header. Koenig will race over and push it forward right at the touchline. Ledesma on the Bone. Back to Lasso. This pass in the direction of Kanon. It's a bit heavy, and then Kanon pushes it out on the touchline just so FC Cincinnati can settle in defensively.
We talked about Doyle. Actually, he's from the Isle of Man, so this is interesting. He can declare nationality for England, Scotland, Wales, or Ireland.
That's why we have you here.
Very interesting, huh?
We're going to have to study this later tonight.
Isle of Man is an interesting place, known for the Isle of Man Grand Prix, the TT, the motorbike racing. Come on, Thomas.
You're going to have to add that to our tour of the United Kingdom. Can we fit it in?
I thought you were a sports fan.
I am, but
Isle of Man TT, look it up.
I'll do that after the match.
Those guys are insane.
Well, I know what my homework is between tonight and Sunday.
The people on the motorbikes, by the way, not the people in Isle of Man.
Okay.
All right.
Just to be clear, in case we have a large viewership over there tonight.
Hate meal.
Bone forward to Koenig. Fed it onto the right. Al-Badawi trying to catch up with it. Cannot. Washington does well to turn it into the middle. Akinyode sends it out wide to the right. Kimura up the right side. Smith giving chase. Got the first touch, but it came off his chest and a throw in for Nashville right at the attacking third. Haven't seen either manager use a substitute yet, as we are just past the hour mark. Washington working with Al-Badawi and Walker on him, and he splits them both. Now back to the foot of Davis. Davis with his left foot into the 18, and it skips just past Hume and out along the end line. A goal kick coming for Newton. Tyler Gibson certainly warming up in earnest down to the left of Alan Koch right now. He might be the first sub. We'll see what buttons Alan looks to push tonight. Meanwhile, the 30-year-old goalkeeper was set to put it back into play.
The positive thing, I think, for Alan, too, I think this FC Cincinnati team have challenged physically. If you remember the first game with Nashville, I thought Nashville had the edge physically. Thought they tried to dictate the game that way. I think FC Cincinnati have been very strong and aggressive tonight. I think really just both teams are lacking a little bit of quality.
FC Cincinnati right now riding that 10-match unbeaten streak, 7-0-3 since June 2nd. Washington with a little space on the left side, just outside of the 18. Turns the pass to the right at the top of the penalty area. Managed well by FC Cincinnati, but then Akinyode wins it back. To the left side, Washington. Inside of the 18, and the header just misses over the crossbar from the far post. It was Kimura who had come forward. The 34-year-old veteran played 90 minutes against FC Cincinnati 4 weeks ago and getting his 16th start of the season tonight. Well, here come a pair of subs for Nashville. Well, Papa Mensah, who has 18 appearances and 4 goals on the season, is at midfield, as is Ish Jome, who will make his 13th appearance. With Melodo, Mensah, and Allen not starting, that is 14 of Nashville's goals this season on the bench. And they are a team that only has 18 goals on the season. Foul is called on FC Cincinnati. It'll be a free kick for Nashville, but that'll give them a chance to make these substitutions. Ish Jome, the native of the Gambia, will replace Kimura, who I was just telling you about. And then Ropapa Mensah, 6'4" forward from Accra, Ghana. 4 goals, 3 assists this year in his previous 18 appearances. Gary Smith making offensive changes here in the final 25 minutes with his team trailing by a goal.
So Gary Smith and Wynn actually getting into a heated exchange.
Davis on the free kick. Forrest Lasso heads it away inside of the 18. Hume over to the left side, Washington. Washington with Walker trailing. Crosses it, the header right into the hands of Evan Newton, who makes the stop.
That's the best chance and opportunity for Nashville in the second half. And Evan Newton's there. Deals with it very comfortably. It's a good chance though, Tommy. This ball's whipped in by Washington. Just a direct header. Evan Newton there, very comfortable.
Big save for Newton, who has stopped 76% of shots on goal this season and has a goals against average coming in at 0.81. Alan Koch is going to counter with his first substitution of the match, and Tyler Gibson will make his FC Cincinnati USL debut. After playing in the friendly last Saturday, he'll replace Kenny Walker.
Another great moment for Tyler to come on. Kenny Walker had a quiet enough game, Tommy.
I thought the last few minutes maybe looked a little bit tired. This will certainly bring on fresh legs for the final 23 minutes. And Koch uses his first of 3 substitutions. Ball across the middle was played over to the left side. Chased down by Davis. Davis trying to get it forward. Kanon took a step in front of Mensah and sent it out across the midfield. One back by the visitors. It's interesting when you talk about substitutions. Gary Smith's substitutions have worked pretty well this year. His team explosive in the final 15 minutes of matches.
I think with the scoreline too, that's something you've got to be mindful of. All he makes his changes now. He's got to keep that in the back of his head.
9 goals across all competitions this year for Nashville in the final 15 minutes. Here's another run for Blake Smith. Gets it across the middle. Koenig let it go. Ledesma wasn't expecting that and it stopped his run.
Danny Koenig had the space as well, Tommy. Just takes his eye off the ball. Would have been a great time to really get that second goal. Try to put this game to bed if they can.
Gibson heads it into the middle, but Bone can't catch up with it. Joam with the fresh legs, racing across midfield right to left. Joam will slide it out wide onto Washington. Sent across the middle. Lasso is there and touches it as it goes out along the end line.
Well, so far the center backs have dealt really well with these crosses, Tommy. Certainly been that approach from Nashville, trying to bend balls in from wide areas, trying to find their targets. Now Mensah coming into the mix, provides another big target for Nashville.
Michael Reed in the 70th minute will take the corner kick from the near side. Reed serves it in. Danny Koenig battling with Hume. Hume went down to the turf. Is screaming at the match official that his jersey was yanked by Koenig. Now Koenig will go over and explain that it was not.
Danny Koenig's just got to be careful as well.
Absolutely. Let's find out. A little bit of contact. His hand was there on his chest. And Danny may have gotten away with one. Hume has been a handful tonight for FC Cincinnati, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, 6'5" target.
He was not involved when these two teams met 4 weeks ago, making just his second start of the year. And I'll tell you what, he may have earned another one. Now Danny Koenig just landed in the book.
Yeah. He's just got a big X on his back, really, and that's what I'm talking about. You've got to be smart, disciplined. Love his aggressiveness. Can't take that away from him.
Now that is the 5th yellow card on Danny Koenig. However, it is not a one-match suspension because he got a good behavior retraction. So his next yellow card will result in a one-match suspension. Meanwhile, Fernando Adi's been called into the dugout.
Right. Well, no, I think it makes that decision easy, right? I was just 100%. About to say that. 20 minutes left in the game. Your center forward's got a yellow card.
Adi will wear number 9, which he was able to persuade away from Tomi Amiobi, who had switched to 24. I'm not sure what tools he used for persuasion, but I can imagine. Meanwhile, a free kick coming here for Nashville in the 72nd minute after the booking on Koenig. It'll come from the right side as the ball comes into the 18. Tyler Gibson turns it away. Sent right back, too strong. Evan Newton will catch it right in front of the goal line. I expect a very warm welcome when Fernando Adi.
This place is about to roar, Tommy.
Comes into the match. If you remember, last Saturday he played his final match for Portland. It was public at the time that it was his final match for the Timbers. It was not public where he was going. He came in at about this point in that match and scored the game-winning goal in the 80th minute.
Honestly, crazy to see that, 1 week from that game that you talked about, he's about to make his entrance. Listen to this crowd.
We're going to let the fans tell the story as Fernando Adi checks in for the first time in the Queen City. Well, not yet, because they didn't get the card in time before play was resumed.
Another chapter for this franchise. First designated player taking the field in any game.
Joam working his way to the final third, rips a shot with his left foot and is well wide and does not test Newton. And now, the moment we've been waiting for, Fernando Adi, welcome to Cincinnati.
Wow. I had to take the earphones off just to hear that, Tommy. What a moment in Nippert Stadium. We've seen some special moments too.
It's interesting. I spoke with Fernando Adi on Thursday and did an interview that we will have as a halftime feature coming up on a future broadcast. He told me when he arrived on Monday for the press conference, the plan was that he very likely was going out on loan, that he was not going to play the USL season. However, he said the moment he stepped into the dressing room, he felt like a teammate. Then that night, he went out to dinner with Carl Lindner. He said he was so impressed with Carl Lindner at dinner that night, he decided the only place he wanted to spend the rest of the 2018 season was here in the Queen City.
We talked to Alan during the week, and he talked about how he had such a special conversation between Carl Lindner and Adi that night. Said Carl was so enthralled and intrigued by him. Great decision again. You know, the fans, obviously, and the coaching staff, everybody really in this franchise, excited to have him here, not for next season, but right now. And in this game, Tommy, he could be the difference again. I think it's needed.
74th minute. Fernando Adi is on. FC Cincinnati leading 1-0 thanks to the goal from Danny Koenig in the first minute. The difference in this match. Can Ledesma find Adi on his debut? Free kick will come from the near side. Ledesma into the box, headed away by Nashville. Out into the midfield to the foot of Hoyt. Hoyt will chip it forward. One back by Nashville. And then Forrest Lasso will challenge Mensah. I'm sorry, that was Joam on the far side. Throw in for Nashville. Looked like a handball, not called. Ball drop back to Lebo Maloto, who's checked in, the third and final sub for Gary Smith. Well, we were talking about Fernando. He brought in Mensah, who we thought was very good in the first matchup between these clubs.
Again, you talked about Maloto. I'm really shocked again that he's not been on before this moment. Nashville, in my opinion, their most creative player. Let's see what he can do in the last 15 minutes.
Joam to the corner of the 18. Brings it into the box. Lasso sliding and turns it away. This will bring in the third and final sub for Alan Koch. This will be a big round of applause as well, because it always is when number 20 comes in, Jimmy McLaughlin. I joked this week that when Fernando Adi came in as a sub, it would be the only time that Jimmy McLaughlin didn't get the loudest cheer as a substitute.
Pretty loud cheer right now, too. Good time again to bring a guy like Jimmy on. Great energy. He's going to play the top of that diamond.
McLaughlin will replace Albanawi. For Jimmy, it's his 82nd appearance in an FC Cincinnati kit in a USL match. Meanwhile, Nashville trying to find an equalizer here in the final 15 minutes. Woodbury turns it back to Doyle. Over to Davis. He'll work with some space on the left side. Pushing into Washington. Davis. Back to Maloto.
Seeing those tricky feet.
Maloto gave it off to Mensah, who had some space to work with it, struck the ball, and wasn't far off.
Wasn't that far away, honestly.
Went wide. Goal kick for Newton in the meanwhile, with the clock running in the 77th minute. Second of 3 meetings this season. They will meet again October 13th. In the regular season finale in Nashville at 2 o'clock. McLaughlin heading it down the right touchline. And Justin Davis got there after McLaughlin knocked it out on the touchline. He'll throw it in. Goes in the direction of Gibson. Adi trying to win it back. Does just that. And then Fernando Adi is going to be called for a foul. Not happy with the call. You know, on Monday we did his photos and video, and Teddy Kerr said all you need to know is he fills out an extra large jersey top. Nashville across midfield. Hume got his head on it. It bounces in. Lasso goes down to the ground. It'll be a corner kick. Forrest Lasso with a big-time defensive play inside of the 6-yard box.
That's a massive tackle by Forrest Lasso. Really last ditch, if you think about it.
Absolutely.
You're talking about here, Nashville claiming for a penalty. I don't think it's a penalty at all. I think Lasso does exactly what he has to.
Hume knocked it forward. It was Mensah who got to it. Lasso may have caught it with a bit of his arm. The corner kick is sent across the mouth of the goal and it goes wide. It'll be a goal kick for Evan Newton.
He does what he has to, honestly, Tommy. He throws himself at the ball, but in that situation, you've no other choice.
Hawksworth and FC Cincinnati are teaming up again from August 6th to August 11th for a blood drive. Donate and receive your limited edition Hawksworth t-shirt for the whiteout next Sunday, August 12th. Newton's goal kick out across midfield. Adi heads it into the middle, just past Corbin Bone. Picked back up by Nashville. LaGrassa over to the right side. Pushes it past Hume. Blake Smith will push forward. LaHood will flip it on to the right side for Hoyt. Gibson with a little bit of space on the right. Working with Hoyt. Left it for Adi. Now LaHood.
Better. He's been able to deal with the ball in tight situations. Really been the best possession, I think, of the game, Tommy, for FC Cincinnati. Starting to get into a rhythm.
80th minute remains 1-0 in favor of the home lads. Looking for a magical second goal to put away Nashville. Bone back to LaHood. You can see Adi directing traffic out there as well.
You wonder too, how much confidence does he bring in? He subs into the game. Not just him too. I think Tyler Gibson's brought in a good presence. Very intelligent player. Just moves into space as well. He's much better though in possession.
Hoyt to the left finds Smith. Over to Ledesma.
It's been the first chance really to try to find Adi if he can off the service.
Ledesma will send it across. Adi on the header and Pickens makes the save. Nearly on cue, partner.
That's the chances you talked about, trying to find that guy in the middle. We'll see it again. Great ball out by Ledesma here. Cuts in, cuts out. Whips it in with his left foot. The big lad at the back post. That's a great header.
Oh, that was going in if Pickens doesn't get his mitts on it. It'll set up a corner kick. Ledesma will come over to the near side to take it. Adi, Kanon, Lasso, all huge targets inside of the 6-yard box. Ledesma looking for his team high 11th assist of the season. Manu with his left foot sends it in. Pickens swats it away, and Manu will get another look.
We've seen this before. It was a disallowed goal a few games back. You remember Ledesma whips it in. It's not that far away again.
It was called a foul on the one that was disallowed.
Just stops at the front post there. Ledesma's definitely got the service done.
FC Cincinnati will change their plan of attack now and stack out inside of the 18-yard box. Again, sends it forward. Cleared away by Nashville. Smith providing the preventative coverage. They'll have some room to work on the left touchline. Feeds it to McLaughlin. Smith back to Jimmy.
Just watch Adi's movement here. Such an intelligent player already, finding spaces in between defenders. We talked about it earlier, moving. You can see him with his arm up, directing traffic, but impressive thing already. He finds gaps, he finds spaces, complete awareness of what's around him.
Bone to McLaughlin, back to Corbett. Forward for Adi. Adi just outside the 18. Knocked it onto his right to Ledesma and just missed him.
I think for those two, it's going to take a little bit of time for that chemistry to grow, develop. Just the understanding of timing of runs.
Took a while for Manu and Danny to figure it out, but once they did, haven't looked back. Washington. Into the middle. Meloto. Forward to Mensah. Back to Meloto. Mensah into the middle. On to Hume. He'll knock it out wide for Jome, who runs over to get to it. With his left foot across the middle, Newton punches it outside of the 18. Comes out to the chest of Akinyode. Meloto. Washington.
He's such a skillful player, Meloto.
Ledesma comes back to help defensively, breaks up the run for the moment. Nashville has to hit reset. Feels like a playoff match right now, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Atmosphere's fantastic. Players as well have brought it. They brought the energy.
McLaughlin trying to break it up. Ball into the box. Kanon off the foot of Mensah. FC Cincinnati going to try to get it going in transition. McLaughlin working with Adi. Adi couldn't do anything with it.
Not been able to get his touch right. His movement, again, like I said, has been very, very intelligent. He's got to calm down a little bit. $27,426 on hand here at Nippert Stadium. Got started a little bit later than we planned. FC Cincinnati clinging to a 1-0 advantage. Washington on the cross. Falls to the chest of Hume. Unable to turn on it. Gives it off to Mensah. Then Hume takes the shot and finds the equalizer in the 85th minute. And Hume is going to celebrate in front of the Bailey to a chorus of boos. Really disappointing time to give up that goal, but Tommy, we've seen it. Nashville be knocking on the door. They've created a lot of chances in this game. This is the ball in. Touch, turn, he's got a ton of space and time. Gets it back. Gotta see it's a good finish with his left foot too. I don't think Evan Newton sees it either.
First of the season for Tucker Hume. It levels the match. And FC Cincinnati, after leading for 84 minutes, sees possibly another draw in store with Nashville.
It's important now to see a big positive reaction here for FC Cincinnati.
Well, Hume battling with Tyler Gibson, takes it off his foot. Bit of a mismatch there. Gibson just 5'9", going up against the big 6'5" forward. Gary Smith certainly rewarded by starting Tucker Hume tonight.
Okay, but it's made a difference. This guy on the ball right now, again, I scratch my head why he's not playing. Melato's probably the most, in my opinion, one of the most skillful players on the field right now.
McLaughlin got it back in the midfield, and then Akinyode took it away from him. Jome's going to work up the right side, got around Jimmy. Jome to the final third. Left-footed shot is way high up into the Bailey. Tucker Hume, 24 years of age. Signed in December with Nashville, and he was plenty happy to score in front of the Bailey, and Let the orange and blue faithful know that he had just leveled the match.
Interesting remarks, I'm sure, thrown at him.
Yes, remarks is a good way to put it. Adi heads it down to Ledesma, who will give it right back. Nashville there defensively. Ledesma can't get it into the middle to Corbin Bone. Wanted a foul call and won't get it. Joman in the middle, Woodbury. Told you it feels like a playoff match tonight. Nashville's played that way.
Well, we talked about Gary Smith preparing his team. They've come in, they've been aggressive. I think FC Cincinnati have certainly matched that aggression.
They've been great in the final 15 minutes all year. That's their 10th goal from the 75th minute on across all competitions this season.
Still time, though.
Absolutely.
Gibson certainly made a positive impact in this game. There's a level of calmness in midfield.
McLaughlin will push it to the attacking third. Sends it in the direction of Adi. Adi trying to turn on it inside of the 18. Went down to the turf, won't get the call.
Good search and ball by Jimmy McLaughlin, too. Understanding what players are around you. A guy like Adi, you can play that type of ball into him. Big target, playing back to goal. You can feed it into his chest.
Hume, top of the 18, tried to feed it between two defenders for Washington and didn't connect. Now Kanon trying to clear it, just sends it straight up into the air. Maloto keeps it alive for Nashville. 89th minute here at Nippert, 1-1. Early goal by Cincinnati, late goal by Nashville. Ledesma for Gibson. He'll send it wide to McLaughlin. Jimmy going to slow it down and leave it for Adi. Back to Gibson at the midfield circle. Haven't yet seen an indication on stoppage time. Gibson sending it over to the left, Smith.
Talked about the first half. Just have to be careful with how Nashville counter-attack as well. You can see Nashville just dropping back here. They've got a set game plan. They'll allow FC Cincinnati to have this space just in front of their line. Their hopes are to try to win it and counter. FC Cincinnati just have to be smart.
Gibson sending it far post. Matt Pickens comes over to catch it before Mano Ledesma can try to redirect it. We are on to stoppage time. There will be 3 minutes of added time here in the second meeting between Cincinnati and Nashville. Pickens will take his time before the veteran puts his right foot onto it. Out across midfield, Kanon gets there first. Hoyt turning it forward. Hume, who just scored the goal, as Tyler Gibson come from behind, and Hume's going to be called for a foul.
Well, you talked about the mismatch about 5 minutes ago. This time Gibson does well enough to use his body, ends up drawing the foul. FC Cincinnati want to take this free kick quickly.
Ropapa Mensah goes into the book with the yellow card after the foul was called on Hume.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is for the afters. Gibson did well just to get his body in front. The referee's not allowing FC Cincinnati to take it quickly, starting to frustrate some of the players here.
Tyler Gibson very frustrated, but right now you just got to put it back into play, and Kanon does that. Gibson has room to work right up the middle of the pitch. He'll drop it back for Lasso. Force up the left side. It'll get to McLaughlin. Jimmy misplays it off his foot. Throw in Nashville. Halfway through stoppage time. As the fans get a little bit restless, awaiting the throw in, while LaGrassa ties his boot. Now it comes back into play. Whereas Lasso can't win it with Hume. Here's a chance for Nashville. Onside up the right side. Into the middle. Shot will be taken by Meloto, who lost his footing. Otherwise would have had a great look at it. Newton's going to try to get it going in transition in the direction of Ledesma, who tried to draw the foul, could not. Adi pushes it out to the near touchline. Throw in for Nashville. Maybe 45 seconds remaining. Both these clubs running out of time.
Yeah. Good decision.
Justin Davis earns his 5th yellow card. He just picked up a suspension.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, Nashville are going to be very happy with the point. Gary Smith, I think, would definitely take that before the game, coming on the road.
And trailing 1-0 in the first minute. Nashville this season has not picked up a point when trailing at the half. 0-5-0 coming into this game.
That'll be the last attack now for FC Cincinnati. Time taken away. One chance now for Blake Smith, maybe to find Adi.
Here it is. Smith was looking for Ledesma and missed both Adi and Manu. Ismir Pekmic has seen enough. The second meeting between Cincinnati and Nashville ends in a draw, same as the first. They will meet once more this season. You can see Nashville, they're excited to pick up a point here on the road, a team that has struggled to score just 2 goals in their last 6 games. Adi nearly made it 2-0 before Nashville found the equalizer. FC Cincinnati gets the draw and remains unbeaten, now in 11 straight.
Yeah, 11 straight is right, Tommy. Obviously unbeaten, fantastic record and run. A little bit of disappointment for sure, I think. They've worked hard to prepare for this game. Obviously the game last week against Espanyol, preparing to play this talented Nashville team. Not getting 3 points, though, I think is a little bit disappointing for them. Not the end of the world, though.
Well, tonight's moment of the match is presented by Toyota. Let's go places, and it came early. If you weren't in your seats, you missed it. Danny Koenig with a big run to get the goal for FC Cincinnati.
Want to start from this guy here. Great finish as well. Takes the space, cuts inside, looks to see where Pickens is coming. That's a confident finish right there.
For Koenig, his 10th goal on the season. He leads the team in that regards. We'll step aside, take a break, come back and hear from Alan Koch and show you the highlights from tonight's 1-1 draw. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Tom Glenner, Kevin McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where Cincinnati and Nashville ended a draw for the second time this season. The Orange and Blue now 13-3-6 on the season, unbeaten in 11 straight. Nashville 8-6-7. The third member of our broadcast team is Lindsay Patterson. She's down on the pitch, joined by Alan Koch.
Coach, Nashville was knocking on the door all night long. You guys walk away with the draw. Can you reflect on tonight's match?
Nashville deserve a point. Definitely a very, very good team, and they showed it tonight. We're disappointed with how we performed, and we'll obviously go assess that. It's a long season. You're never going to play fantastically in every single game. We've had a brilliant season so far, and you're going to have slightly down moments, and I think tonight's one of those. But to be brutally honest, I'm actually looking forward to going and watching the game tape, because there are significant number of decisions in that game that I find very, very questionable. And you want to go analyze those things, because those things add up, they get compounded, they impact the course of a game tonight, they impact the course of a season, and that's very, very disappointing. The game needs to develop. And we were disappointed tonight from a team perspective, but I was very, very disappointed with some of those individual decisions, and I'm looking forward to going and assessing them. And I hope for the referee's decision, for his opinion, I hope he got them right, because from the outside it looked very, very disappointing.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Great job tonight. Obviously, Alan Koch frustrated walking off the pitch. Nashville walking off like they won the match, getting that late goal, obviously huge, and the point here on the road. It's time for tonight's post-match highlights, brought to you by Toyota, and they started quickly. The big goal from Danny Koenig.
What a way, again, to start this match, and what a fantastic night with a massive crowd. Danny Koenig, we talked about it, with a chip on his shoulder, comes in, and great finish, Tommy, with his left foot into the top corner to get the game underway.
Nippert roared early and nearly 2-0 off the header from Ledesma.
Kenny Walker puts in a great ball. Ledesma just unable to get any really type of power on that header. More of a flick on. This is Kimura's ball in with Hume, who's a menace all night, Tommy. Challenging Evan Newton, does well on it. This is Hume again, putting the ball back across.
Big clearance by Kanon on that play. Then Washington setting it up at the other end, and a big save by Newton.
Again, Evan Newton reacts well to that. This is the chance that we were talking about, the combination. Ledesma whipping it in, Addy back post. Just unlucky. Pickens does what he has to, pushes it over for a corner.
That would have made it 2-0. Instead, it stayed at 1-0 in favor of the orange and blue. And here's Hume battling to find his shot and equalize the match.
And again, not much Evan Newton really could have done about that. Hume, unintentional 1-2, but does enough just to whip it around into the bottom left-hand corner.
Evan Newton went 466 minutes without allowing a goal here at Nippert Stadium. That streak came to a close in the 85th minute. Again, the final score 1-1, and it's kind of what we expected. These are two really good teams, despite where Nashville sits in the standings.
Disappointing performance. Alan said that he expects more, which of course we all do from this squad. But again, it's not the end of the world, Tommy. 11 games unbeaten. That's a very impressive stat. And I think one of the things that Alan's going to look at this week in training, individual changes, performances, reflecting, and come back next week against Penn.
Well, an extra day to get ready for Penn FC next Sunday at 6 o'clock when it'll be a whiteout. Once again, your final score here at Nippert Stadium, Cincinnati 1, Nashville 1. Our next broadcast of USL Soccer comes your way a week from tomorrow as FC Cincinnati hosts Penn FC. We'll have all the action for you beginning at 6 p.m. For my broadcast partners, Kevin McCloskey and Lindsay Patterson, our producer, David Ashbrock, I'm Tom Glitter, saying goodnight. And thanks for tuning in to FC Cincinnati.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
it.